What's up, peeps? Julian Williams hit the distance. Sitting in front of my fish tank again. Probably getting ready to go to bed in a minute, but I just had to do a review on this fight. Seth Mitchell versus Jonathan Banks. Um, decent, decent overall fight. Great overall fight. Great ending too for Jonathan Banks to come out. A lot of people knew him as Vladimir Klitschko's sparring partner. But in this fight, I guess that Manuel Stewart's death gave him the extra edge in order to maintain focus and win the fight. As you can tell early in the fight, he was looking to land that left hook. And I think he did everything right against Seth Mitchell. Even though it was early in the fight, I think that what happened was in the second round, Banks had the opening that he needed. He needed to end this as soon as possible while he had the chance. Because with a strong fighter like a Seth Mitchell, there's always that puncher's chance in the possibly later rounds to where the fight can just all of a sudden change or just end. So I think Jonathan Banks did a good job of being patient, waiting for his time to come because he had some decent movement. And let's not forget, despite the fact that a lot of people know him as Klitschko's sparring partner, just overall, take into consideration he hasn't lost a fight since he fought Tomas Adamek, which was like in February 2009, February 28th, 27th, I believe. Yes, February 27th, or maybe even the 26th when that happened. But since the loss to Adamek, he hasn't lost a fight since. So let's take that into consideration as well. But just overall, I think he was able to expose a lot of flaws that Mitchell had. He had a weakness for the right hand. He's slow on his feet, telegraphs his right hand shot. So, and also, you could tell during the fight, when that jab came back, he wasn't defending himself. So Banks was looking for that counter, either a check left hook, counter left hook, or just a lead left hook, in order to set Mitchell up. So overall, Jonathan Banks did a great job in this fight. It looks like he came out, he had a plan, and he used that plan, in order to win this fight. He used the plan of making Mitchell come towards him, look for the left hook to land, and also when he jabbed, he maintained his front foot inside of Mitchell's foot. So Banks did everything fundamentally well. On the other hand, Seth Mitchell is definitely going to have to go back to the drawing board after this fight. They're more than likely, whoever promotes him, I believe Golden Boy does, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to give him the Tommy Morrison syndrome. Give him the Tommy Morrison thing, basically just put him in the ring as soon as possible and just keep him busy. Because after, I think, Morrison lost his second fight, I think to Michael Bent, I believe whoever his promoter was at the time in 93, 94, 95, made him continuously fight. You can just look back at the records if you have, if you want to look at box record or whatever, and it will basically show that, they kept him busy, even though it didn't equate to anything, being that his career ended like 2 years later. I just think that's the perfect plan for a heavyweight like Seth Mitchell. I think a little more work with Virgil Hunter, and he needs to work a lot on timing his jab and pacing himself. And that's just what I think he needs to do. I think and also focus on cutting off the ring as well, because he was having trouble cutting off the ring. It seems as if he did not know how to. So there's a lot of work that Mitchell will need following this loss. He might give himself another TV deal with a Showtime or maybe an ESPN, because I know ESPN more than likely would love to utilize Seth Mitchell, being that Teddy Atlas is very vocal about the heavyweight division and the fight's coming up. And really, I think when you have a champion like a Klitschko who has faced just about every type of style, preparing Seth Mitchell for Klitschko and using a fight like a Jonathan Banks and a Chaz Witherspoon to set it up, as you can tell, was not the best idea. But also, it could be a blessing in disguise for Mitchell, due to the fact that he definitely was not ready for that fight. So it's gonna make him stay busy and fight for a little bit long before he actually earns a title shot. On the other hand, Jonathan Banks, the sky's the limit for him. I would really be interested in seeing him fight Marco Huck. I think that would be a decent fight to see him in. And the reason I think it would be a decent fight is because I know Huck wants to fight with Klitschko, and he thinks he can compete with him. But I think that he should fight Jonathan Banks, who is Klitschko's sparring partner. I think Banks could also fight Areola. That's another decent option. I don't know if he's been staying busy or not. Another option. It's even Tyson Fury or David Price. There's a lot of options out there. Whether it's British or overseas. Whether it's here or overseas. There is a bit of competition that Banks can face, but just overall, very good fight for Jonathan Banks. And just let me know what you think. But anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. My other video might go up tomorrow. But anyway, that was the distance, and thanks for watching. Peace.